What's up, everyone?
It's Dani
and Nick.
Welcome back to Airport Talks
Episode 3.
3. We are happy to be back in another airport. We are going to be in airport today and tomorrow because we are flying from Copenhagen to London and then London to home. Sadly, our trip is over,
I know.
But let's get into it. So question number 1 was from Bob Menica.
Yes. And Bob's question basically has to do with like an overarching theme that we wanted to talk about, which is how to travel through Europe cheaply, specifically having to do with the transportation part of it. Bob's question was...
It was all about budget eating and transportation, and he was asking specifically about Paris because he's going to Paris in like 2 weeks, but our response has to do with any place that we've been. For budget eating, really just walk a couple blocks out of the touristy areas. If you're at the Eiffel Tower, walk a couple blocks away to eat, because all of the places there are going to be like pizza and burgers and way overpriced. If you want to get that authentic meal and really enjoy what you're eating in the places, get away from the touristy areas, and then the menus are obviously cheaper as well. And then for transportation,
the best way to get around cities that we've been to is by either the metro or the tube in London or buses. Obviously there's walking as well. That's the cheapest way to get around the city. A lot of the cities we've been to have Uber, so that's an option if you're in a rush. Obviously there's taxis in every single city, but those are going to be a little bit more expensive.
We really enjoy walking because you get to see a lot more of the city, and like if you're going from tourist attraction to tourist attraction, the middle part when you're walking, what you get to see is just a totally different feel.
I can't tell you how many times we've like come across something that we did not expect or have on our itinerary at all, but just because we walked there, it's like, oh, this looks cool, like let's stop in for 5-10 minutes, and that's how we like find a lot of the stuff that we ended up doing.
Yeah. Specifically to Bob's question was what time were we at the Louvre, because it was crowded and we were there when it opened at 9 a.m. So yes, it was crowded, but I think it was just like a busy day. It's probably not like that every single day, but get your tickets beforehand because like we showed in our video, you get to skip the line, which was really awesome.
Yeah, the Louvre, we bought ours online and they always have timed tickets either in 30 minutes or hour increments. So ours was like for the first one because we wanted to be there early, but I think the Louvre is one of the most famous museums in the entire world, so I think you can always count on having a line. We were there when it was literally like snowing so hard and freezing, and there was still a pretty big line outside, but if you have the tickets, you get to skip most of the big line. Also, if you're in Paris, the Paris Pass allows you to do that as well. A lot of cities have their own passes. I know Florence has like a Florence Pass, Florence, Italy, so we got that. Those local passes can sometimes help you save money if you're planning to do a lot of the different attractions in like a 72-hour period, and it also helps with you skipping the line as well.
Now we wanted to talk a little bit more specifically about our trip because we didn't have any more specific questions, so we wanted to give a little insight on our trip now that it's come to an end.
We thought it would be really cool to actually rank out of the 5 places we went to, rank them in order for each of us. They're basically the same. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I think that London was obviously my favorite place. I fell in love with it, would totally go back there in a heartbeat. But after that, it kind of was neck and neck. I thoroughly enjoyed every place we went to, so I'd probably say London, Copenhagen, Edinburgh, Amsterdam, and then Paris. Paris was my least favorite just because it was so crowded and over touristy, and also the people just selling things, but I still loved it and I would recommend it to someone who would want to go there. But if out of the 5 places, London was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, like Danielle said, every place was awesome. I would say London, Edinburgh, probably then Copenhagen, then Paris, then Amsterdam. The only reason Amsterdam's so low for me is I was sick most of the time and I just didn't get to see as much as we wanted to. Plus, when you're not feeling well, it puts a damper on things as well, but each place is great. What
was your specific, like, most favorite thing that we did overall out of the 5 places? One thing.
Okay, this is my must-do list if you're going to each place. London would be...
Hey, I said 1.
Oh, for all of it? Oh, God.
You can do that.
Okay. My must-dos for each place. I would say London, Natural History Museum, Edinburgh, Arthur's Seat, Paris, the Louvre, Amsterdam, the Van Gogh, Copenhagen.
Nijhaven.
Yeah, Nijhaven probably, yeah. I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with all those things. If you could skip one thing that we did, what would you tell the viewers to spend their time doing something else rather than this? For me, I would say probably Buckingham Palace in London. We spent a lot of time walking there out of our way, and then you basically can just see it from the road.
Yeah, you can't go in, so it's like...
You can see those pictures online. You don't get much feeling standing out there. It wasn't like a, wow, finally made it here. So I would say skip that and spend your time other places.
Another thing that I would say, while it's great to walk a lot of places, you do have to like strategize your time. So like in London, towards the end, we started taking the tube more because we had already done that walk before, and it was like, now it's more about trying to get more like packed into a short amount of time. But with that being said, also don't go in when you're traveling with the mentality of like, I just want to knock out everything I can. You cannot, unless you're going to be living there for a certain amount of time, you cannot see everything in any city in a week or two's time.
Yeah.
So you have to be strategic, plan your time.
We spent our most time in London,
yeah,
and we still didn't see everything.
No, we didn't. And like, you just have to enjoy the time and the things that you're doing rather than just running around from place to place to place and not enjoying it at all. It has to be a balance. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode of Airport Talks. We had a great time on this trip. We love sharing it with you guys. We love when you guys ask questions on this. It makes it that much more fun. So if you have any questions for next time, we'll be in the airport tomorrow, and we're going to be in another one in a few days anyways, or 2 weeks, I guess. So feel free to leave some comments down below.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to follow along with our journey and more of our travels.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.